let's talk about CG. So you are like the pioneer when it comes to mastermind groups especially with real estate investors. So the elite real estate investor board is collected genius. 11 years. I don't think we can say there's another real estate investing group, mastermind group out there that's been chucking along for 11 years. So let's just go back. Why did you do this? What was it?
Um, I wish I could tell you it was some calculated, idea, but the reality of it is I had another business at the time. It was a boutique funding company that was specifically doing what we call transactional funding. And I was in a marketing mastermind. It wasn't necessarily specific to real estate, but I was in a marketing mastermind. And that business had some regulatory changes coming, and I knew it would slowly start to get suffocated. And so I started CG as really quite honesty as a side project. I start a little side project, make a few bucks. And then once I started it, I really realized how passionate I was about connecting people. It was kind of like that light bulb went off where like, oh, wow, this is this is a God-given talent for me, right? Like I know who to put. I'm struggling with this. I need this. Bam, right? I can connect those dots, and it's it's not a skill set as much, it's just talent, right? It's the way my brain works, not something I work on, not something I try to improve. It's just, when somebody's talking to me about something they need help with, man, that brain just starts flipping through that Rolodex, and okay, let me, and once I realized how much I enjoyed that, and more importantly, the results that it was creating for those individuals, that's when I got like hooked,
Yeah.
hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I dig. I love connecting people and then them coming back and saying, I'll give you an example, right? I walked into CG 2 weeks ago. We were out in Scottsdale, and Jim Shields walks up to me and goes, "Hey, man, I just wanted to let you know when I was trying to get funding for that construction project for the RV park that we're bringing out of the ground, you introduced me to Brian Yarnell, and they funded they funded the entire deal, $20 million."
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like, cool.
$20
Yeah, that's
million,
awesome.
right? And he was just like, "Thanks, man." And I'm like, I get a kick. That's two CG members put together, $20 million deal. Everybody win. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I mean, you call yourself the chief connector. I actually had that in here. I was like, is that even a talent? And it really is. I mean, they say it's not what you know, it's who you know, and you know a lot of people, and you know how to connect the right people, right? Because you might know a lot of people, but you don't have that talent. You definitely do. Jason.
Yeah, we always say that connections are what help close like when you're an entrepreneur, your struggle every day is closing the gap between your reality of today and your vision for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's never fast enough, right? I want to close that gap, and that's what a great mastermind does, and someone that knows how to connect people. That's what they do, right? They take that time frame, like it's going to take me this long, and we just chop it in half.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, you've been in this 11 years and it's still really, really successful, right? So this isn't like this is the long game. I mean, 11 years is a long time to be doing anything. Why do you think it works so well? Like, what's the magic in CG? What do you
Yeah,
think it is?
that's an easy answer. It's our culture. I mean, dude, just like when you started this call, you talked about this is what keeps you on top, right? There's a reason that that saying,
Yeah.
and that's because that's the culture but that is, I'm giving you guys an example of what Brett's pulling the quote from our opening presentation and he's heard that a million times. But when you come to CG, what you're going to hear every time you come is who we are, what we stand for, what we stand against. And if that doesn't work for you, we're probably not the right fit, right? Like, we're not perfect by any means, but I always say we put a lot of bulls with big horns in the same pen.
Mm-hmm.
If there are no rules, if there are no boundaries, if there are no guardrails, a lot of bulls with big horns, that gets ugly, right? So every meeting, we talk about our core values of integrity, community, and go-giving, and that just kind of aligns everybody to walk in the same direction. And if all the bulls are walking in the same direction, nobody gets poked,
Poked, yeah.
right? And yeah, if you're not a go-giver, if you're not looking to help people, we're gonna sniff you out more than likely before you show up, but you might make it a short period of time before we figure out, like, if you're just not there to help other people. That's what makes it tick. That's what makes the magic. And we do so much more. For those of you who listen, maybe never heard of Collective Genius, it's so much more than business. We have some great people in our organization that do a lot. We're on the podcast with one of them, right? Like Brett, talk about a go-giver. We do so much more than just business. I mean, Brett introduced us to a charity a few months back, and then at our annual Generous Genius event, we raised close to 300 grand and distributed out. I want to say it was close to $80-some thousand.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I want to show you this. They just sent me this. Hold on. I got this from Transforming Futures, brother.
Oh,
just
wow.
got this.
Oh,
Yeah, they sent me that. Right.
that's awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
And thank you for that. Yeah, like I said, guys, we do a charity event every December, Collective Genius. It's called the Generous Genius, and we raise money, do some crazy stuff. We had some races, dressed as superheroes. It was a lot of fun, but we help a lot of people.
That's what, Brett, that's the answer. That's why after 11 years, you just said it.
Yeah.
We help a lot of people, right? Money is not the pursuit for me, right? Money is the result. It's the result of helping a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I dig helping people. I love it. I want to, like, for me, that's the measure of success. I'm not so much worried about going to the grave with $1 bazillion as, like, when I hit the dirt, man, I want a line out the door.
Mm.
Like, that dude impacted my life.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Couple other questions regarding Collective Genius. So one of the things that I heard a couple years ago, one of the presentations was, I think it was it Lee Arnold, or I forget, but he talked about scaling responsibly. And I think that you've really done that, right? I mean, 11 years, you say you got 190 members, which is great, but I think you've done it very responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah. I'm assuming you wanted me to kind of go into, what is scaling responsibly. Scaling responsibly, a lot of folks just focus on big versus better. And if you get into a growth mode where your growth is outstripping your profitability over and over and over and over, unless you're an Uber, or like the unicorn companies that have billions and billions of dollars and don't need to make money, at some point, if you're scaling to a point of constantly outstripping your profitability, it's like putting all your chips in all the time, every hand at the blackjack table.
Yeah.
Right? You're on a roll, and then
you lose.
Then the blackjack. Then the dealer turns over the blackjack, right? And so, scaling responsibly, it's not just a sales-driven aspect of the business, right? I mean, to me, I've always felt that scale sales, scale operations and systems, scale sales, scale operations and systems, scales. That way, we've given the analogy before of, like, you walk up and you're looking at two skyscrapers, right? And you got, man, that dude's he's got 120 stories. And then the guy next to him, he's got like 60. Right. So the guy with the 120, he's smoking his pants off. Right. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is when the big storm comes, right? Big storm comes, economic storm, changing times, changing your life. You look back up when that storm came through, and the 120 story skyscraper is like knocked down to 20 stories. and the guy that had 60 is like knocked down to 55. And you're like, well, wait, how come this? Because to build a business right, at least in my opinion, the higher you go, or the higher your skyscraper goes, the deeper your foundation needs to be as well.
Yeah.
Right. To be able to support that growth higher. And a lot of people don't build their business in a way where as they get bigger, they're strengthening their foundation, right? As that building gets taller, your foundation needs to be you need to continually strengthen it, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I love that answer.
Yeah, and a lot of people scale. They ain't making no money.
It's true.
We did $10 million last year. We didn't make any money, but we did $10 million, right?
We spent 1001.
You know, yeah, right. Yeah. So it's, you know,
I love that.
I'm slow and steady.
I love that. Simple business.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for checking out the Brett Snodgrass channel. If you like this video, please slam on that like button. And if you really like it, then subscribe to our channel here. And remember to leave us a comment below, and I'm going to try my hardest to reply to all the comments. Thank you guys so much. This is why I do what I do. Every single week, I come out with content that focuses on success, freedom, and living out your purpose. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.